The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy G-Wade holding it down. G-Wade Podcast, kicking it alongside with my man Deacon
Dirty.
And we got a special guest in the building. Them Gibson Films own Howard Gibson is in the house. What's happening?
Yes, I'm here. All right,
what's
good.
Up, man. I
all
appreciate
good.
you taking the time, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you asking me to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought we were going to have to do it via Zoom, but then I was told you can come in. I was like, yes. Excellent. Now, we get a little introspective here, so we like to kind of go back, and we were kind of talking a little bit off air, and so you got some similarities or some familiar locations.
Yes.
Well, we both from D.C.
Washington, D.C. Big up to D.C.
You know what I'm saying?
District.
Yeah. So I'm from Northwest, and you're from Southeast.
I'm from Southeast D.C.
That is, what's up? Shrimp boat.
The shrimp boat. Big up to Northwest, though.
Absolutely. Shout outs to Southeast. I remember back in the day, we were a little hesitant to run through Southeast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what high school did you go to?
I went to Crossland High School, actually in Prince George's County.
PG, okay.
Yeah. So around about 12 or 13, we left Southeast and moved to Capitol Heights.
Gotcha.
See Pleasant, which was just a hair away from Southeast DC. It did, it wasn't that different, but it turned into Maryland.
Okay, yeah.
And I went to Crossland High School. They shipped us all the way out.
Okay.
Out in Temple Hills, Maryland.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I went out there and that was an experience. And I went to Largo.
Largo, shout out. Okay, Largo, I'm familiar.
I was jumping around high schools those 4 years, but I did mainly Crossland High School in Temple Hills. But
right.
Yeah.
Now, doing it at that time, were you involved in film? Were you involved in the arts in any kind of way?
Yeah, I always was. Very early on, my dad, he's a builder, so he would design. He's an architect, and he would build out buildings, and he's very creative. In that way. Yeah. And so before I was born, his hobby and his enthusiasm was the film business.
Gotcha.
To be a documentary film, So he always had, since I can remember, we saw 8mm and 16mm film reels hanging out around the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the way we saw our family movies were the old screen projectors. Remember those?
You pull them down?
Had to pull out the system, and you had to kind of take those 8mm and turn it on, and you hear it click, 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 click. So we just saw that. So that's all my life, So I very early on, I knew how to, say, Dad, I want to watch a movie. And I would take his, projection system out and learn how that process was. And so I played with film cameras all my life. And then by 79, I was around, 78. And, video, VHS came about, and Daddy brought that home and told us to play with it.
Okay.
And Crystal, my big sister, Crystal and I, we were just always coming up with ideas. She the main one. She'd tell me do this and do that.
Right.
She'd come up with ideas. Say,
so
how
she had the script. She had the story.
Always, she would have a dance routine. How are you going to learn this?
Wow, that's funny.
It was just one of those big sister type stuff. You're going to do this. So it was like, Crystal's like, we're going to make movies. And I'm like, all right. And that's how it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, did you do college?
I did UCLA. Now, it's kind of, I did the trade schools. Okay. So, kind of interesting. My sister and I used to do a lot of short films. Okay. So throughout my youth and up into my teens, that's mainly what we did. Okay. We were into music and we were making short films.
Okay.
So much so that all the family knew.
Gotcha.
And we would have people come over to watch our short films.
That's dope.
So they were always like, them Gibson. So they would always say that.
There we go. I was getting ready to ask you where the name come from.
Yeah, so them Gibson came from that. And then we were called the Wonder Twins. We weren't twins. She's 14 months older than me. But we act like twins. My mom would dress us, I guess, to not make us, sibling rivalry. So we would look the same. I'm the boy version, she the girl version, always. And so that's pretty much how that was.
Okay.
And so from my 13 to 18, I got into my church ministry. So my parents, big shout out to Parkway Baptist, now Great Commission. And we pushed that together. And so I saw small church, 30 members. And just being innovative with Bishop Parent at that time was Pastor Parent and my dad. They got together and said they would get into cable.
Okay.
And so I'm 13, and I'm like, Dad, I want to get in cable. And so we started a church ministry. And so that blew up. And that's when I met Apostle Verl Howard.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Verl.
Shout out to Apostle Verl Howard.
That's my homie right there.
And I was very young, and she saw my focus.
Okay.
And she was very instrumental in keeping me focused a lot, man. Just saved me in many ways. And so over that time, in my teenage years, our church went from 30 to 5 or 10,000. Started getting really big.
Wow.
Yeah. And so our cable ministry, our television ministry was a main reason for that. And we ended up having a lot of high quality programming.
Project. Okay. Yeah.
And all in a while, I didn't realize I'm helped running this operation, and we were just dealing with a lot of cable companies, and I'm sitting in these meetings. So
now you're learning the verbiage, you're learning
all of it, so and I think about where I am today in 2021. In hindsight, I was trained this way. This is all I know, and so I was very focused as to what I would do, and I wasn't confused, man. I just always haven't been a confused person, because this is all I know. Train a child, and my dad did just that. And my other passion is building something, so I'm a foundational person too.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's why we kind of came back and did this, but mainly, from I would say from 13 to 18, everybody came to our church.
Nice.
Fred Hammond came to the church.
Yeah.
Everybody, TD Jakes before he was TD Jakes, everybody knew. Everybody came through, and we were recording all of this. So I remember I got into this mode where we would have a program. Shout out to one of my besties, Dietrich Haddon. He would come.
We just interviewed him yesterday.
That's the homie.
Dietrich is good people.
Yeah. Dietrich would come in. I give you a great example. Dietrich come in. We got him on a concert.
Yeah.
By the end of that concert, I done made 10,000 VHS tapes. Y'all remember those days?
Yeah, of course.
I'm in the back, man. I'm hitting the button. As soon as it goes down, okay, we're closing out. This is a closeout, and go. Yeah. I'm 14.
Wow.
I got 6 cameras on him.
Wow.
I'm doing it like this. I got the open, I got the closing, I got, okay, now we going. Boom. And I'm putting out tapes, and then we got a long
part of the tape ministry too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so that's what I know.
Okay. So was it like fish to water?
Because I got into the secular world.
Okay.
I got into the secular world because, and I think I thought about this even coming here, just how I operate now is a very community, mindset. I come out of this a very family oriented way. I've always been that way. And it has not been successful in the secular world as much. Okay. Because I would open the doors and say, come on in, let's do this. And that would backfire a lot because I just
letting the snakes in.
You just have to. There's a balance to it now, and I'm thankful for the balance. But when I first got into it, I'm coming straight from family projects to doing incredible work with church ministry and me being big. We ended up having TV trucks and everything.
Wow,
it was big. Okay. We got big, and so I understood that. And then when I got into the world. And I said, hey, I can do all of this. They were like, slow down, son. You can't do any of that. You got to start from the bottom. And that's how it happened, And I just had to go again. And that was a big task to ask for because I knew so much, because I had a lot of, relationships. Even that first year, Russell Williams III, shout out to Russell Williams III. He's the Academy Award winner, the first African-American to win Oscars for Best Sound for Dancing with Wolves and Glory, back to back. And he was born and raised in Washington, D.C., 51st Street Southeast, with my mother, Vashti Gibson. They born and raised with each other. And she kept telling us about him. He did Women's at Brewster's Place, and he helped Spike Lee. He won the Emmy for that. He helped Spike Lee with all of his movies, and Sam Jackson was his best friend, so that's how Sam Jackson exists. Russell Williams.
Nice.
Jungle Fever.
Wow.
So I knew about all of this coming up. And I saw it from a distance. And so at my senior year, Russell had already won for Dancing with Wolves that year. So it was back to back. He won Glory first and Dancing with Wolves second, 91. He came to Howard University, and it was my senior year. I was pulling to my senior year, and I was just like, I don't know what I want to do. I want to meet him. I've been talking to him for many years on the phone and congratulate him. It felt like a fairy tale, really. It didn't feel real.
Wow.
And then he said, I'm here. And so, I decided And my mom and my dad, everybody said, this is the right move. I decided that day, I'm either going to my graduation this day, it's a true story, or I'm going to go see Russell.
Wow.
I didn't experience that graduation, y'all. I don't know what it is.
What graduation?
I don't know what the high school graduation feel like.
Wow.
I don't know.
So they looking around after they called your name?
I did not get the diploma in my hand. You know how they do all that?
Yeah. The handshake and
none of that.
Tassel. Yeah.
I think my mom got it in the mail down the stretch. I don't know.
Wow.
You know, I just said, look, I'm done. I'm done with school. Russell here. And I went to Howard University with my mom. I sat down there right in the front row, and he shouted my mama out. And he had, you know, all of these big people sitting up there talking to him, and it was just, I was just overwhelmed. And he shouted my mom out, and he said, "There's Howard Gibson, my little nephew." Kind of shouted me out. And I had that pride in me, like
I'm sitting here listening. That's got to be a dope story, man.
It was a lot of pride in me, and I was like, I felt I made the right move that day.
I feel like you did.
And God said, do it. God said, you know what? This is it. Do it.
Yeah.
There's moments in my life.
Gotta move.
There's moments in my life where I just hear something.
Yeah.
And that will be the incredible impetus in my body, like I shake. And I'm like, I gotta find out the other side of that.
Yeah.
And so I did that. And that day was the first day of me in the film business.
Wow.
Literally. Has not changed since that moment. So I saw him. Mom still was worried about let's go back and at least do a party or something. I said, Mom, I'm going to hang out with Russell.
Yeah.
And off the stage, he went and hung out in the Crampton Auditorium at Howard University. And walked them all around, the professors. And Kathy Hughes was there.
Okay.
I mean, and I stood there, and he says, I starred Distinguished Gentleman tomorrow with Eddie Murphy. Come on through the stage. Come on through the set.
Wow.
Maybe I can get you in a role, get extra. So I went there with a suit on. Next day, and I'm standing there. I'm in Washington, D.C. I had an American flag tie on with my suit. And I'm standing right next to Russell. And little did I know, I get this man tapping my shoulder and said, "You in my way." And then I turn around, it's Eddie Murphy. He got to get mic'd on.
Yeah.
But he right there with the sound guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm in the way. And this is Eddie Murphy. Let me step back.
Yeah.
And he keeps looking at me while he's micing him up. Hey, man, give me that tie. What you doing with that tie on? You upstaging me?
Wow.
And I'm like, no, sir. I'm just here. I'm just, why you looking like that? I'm trying to get extra. And I'm like, I need to leave. I'm looking around scared. I'm 18, And that was my introduction to the film business.
Wow.
That's got to be a wonderful feeling.
Did he put on a tie?
So Distinguished Gentleman became a big story about my tie.
Okay. So that was
about my
around
American
the set.
tie. Yes. So I was just a spectator that first day.
Okay.
But I stayed the whole day, and I had a suit and tie. I was trying to help out Russell with cables. They said, "Don't touch that. That's the union." I can't help out. So I just need to stay quiet and observe. I waited to be an extra. It didn't happen that day. Then they said, "You can come back tomorrow." Okay. Same suit on, same tie. Eddie Murphy see me again. You're not even in the scene. No. Give me that tie. I can't. Frank Capra told me, Frank Capra III, shout out to Frank Capra III. He told me, he's the first AD, told me, I'm trying to get in the scene.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what to do. Help me, somebody. And he's like, Ty, he's messing with me. And
that had to be cool.
And the third day they missed me. Because the third day I was supposed to do it, right? Wow. So I stayed the whole day that way. And that day was 16 hours. I stuck around 16 hours every location. I got on their little movement where they moved from one place to the next to the Union City. I met B. Smith that day. Okay. And it was incredible. I'm standing here like in awe. Charles Dutton walked up on me. Wow. And I'm like in awe. And I'm standing here, everybody saying, "Give me the tie." Everybody messing with me. Give me the tie.
Where did you get the tie from? That's what I want to know.
It was, I'm from D.C. Right?
So you can find a tie. A political tie.
Thanks to that tie.
Yeah. So my mom was like, "Well, this is a thing from Washington, D.C. You might be an extra in it. Wear a tie. We're going to see you."
Yeah.
Like, in the background.
Okay. That makes sense.
We'll see you in the scene somewhere. That was, hey man, you can't. And Eddie was like, "You can't have that tie on. You're gonna be, like we looking at you because you got the tie on." And my mom was right.
That's the point.
Yeah. So day 3, I have to admit, I was scared. You know, I can't just hang out. I got to figure this out. School, the whole graduate, all that.
Now you're fresh out of high school at this point, right?
I didn't go to my graduation.
Wow.
So I'm talking fresh. Like everybody having parties, graduation parties. Yeah. I was on Distinguished Gentleman's set.
But you're on the path to your career, like early.
At that moment, I was just in awe. I mean, at that moment, I'm like, I met Eddie Murphy. He's talking to me every day. They're messing with me.
Right.
I'm sitting down with Russell, you know, at the table with incredible people. Frank Capra III is the AD. His father's grandfather's Frank Capra. It's a Wonderful Life. Like, I'm sitting here, like, he's talking about how his father, how he remember when he was a child doing It's a Wonderful Life in D.C.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here like, what just happened?
I can tell you exactly what I did after I graduated. It wasn't that. Nowhere near that.
Yeah. You know, it was so it captivated me.
And, had to, yeah.
And it captivated me. And I was coming up through Southeast. I was coming up through hardship, you know, and I was coming up to things where I was in a TV ministry and I would always openly express what God gave me. Oh, I want to do this like Spike Lee. I want to, you know, and they'd be like, oh, you Denzel, you Spike Lee. You know, it was a joke. And so that was another protection of that moment, because when I was there, I felt very respectful and honored. And I was on my P's and Q's because Russell was an Academy Award winner. He was a rare in this world. And right now he's an African American museum. Right now. Wow. So I'm looking at this is at that moment. So I walked into a situation. It's a big situation. This is some, you know, $90 million project. And so that was my first exposure to what a film production would even look like. So I'm there and I'm just really overwhelmed. I'm captivated by every department, how they move and everything. And so I didn't care, man. I missed a lot of parties. I didn't do a party, nothing. And I said, no, I can't, you know. And then that third day, I remember I forgot to get the location. And I didn't have a phone back in the days. Right. They couldn't get in contact with me. So on the fourth day, I kept calling the hotel. When is he going to be back? Tell him to call me. He was tired. What do you want? I said, man, can I come again? Yes, we're going to be at, you know, whatever it was. Yeah. And I was like, thank you. And he said, don't wear the suit. Don't wear the tie. Because it was, you know. Yeah. A little. Everybody was talking. It was a little. That's probably funny. Awkward a little bit too, you know, because I was getting a lot of attention about that. So the next time I came, Frank Capra was trying to find me, and he said, "Hey man, here's your W-2 and the walkie-talkie." And that was the day I got on. Wow. So I was the PA. The PA that day, and we were on the Washington Mall by the reflection pool, and Victoria Rawell, shout out to Victoria Rawell, played the love interest, and she kept looking at me, the tie, you back here? And I was like, yeah. She said, congratulations, and everybody knew. What? And by the end of that day,
what'd you do with that tie, bro?
Eddie Murphy.
Did you frame it?
Isn't that in the frame, bro?
You frame that tie?
Eddie Murphy fired me.
Really?
Yeah, he fired me. He said
on that fourth day.
Yeah, on the fourth day I was working. He looked at me and Fruity said, "Fruity, go get him. Tell him you're fired." He literally said, "Take that W-2, rip it up. You're fired." He said, "Go get in that." He said, "Go get in that bus right now. Give me that tie. You work for me."
Wow.
So I ended up.
That was a good firing.
I ended up being Eddie Murphy's personal assistant.
Wow.
Through PA throughout the whole show. So I had the whole Murphy family, Nicole Murphy, everybody was there.
What?
I'm like, you know.
Mind blown.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'll just let you know, at the end of the day, at the end of it, I had to fold the tie up and put it in his big RV where he, you know, we have his lunch at. Yeah, that's what happened. And then in the middle of this,
the tie got a story all by itself.
I want to find that tie. Right. And I've been talking to them lately, so I want to find that tie. We talk about it.
That's funny.
It's a beautiful thing. But in the midst of this is how God works. In the midst of this, he gets a call, and they need to reshoot. And they shot something else, this movie called Boomerang.
What?
So I'm here, like I'm hearing this, I'm ear hustling.
Yeah.
He got to shoot this one day. He got to reshoot this one scene. Okay, so I ended up fly on the wall in that situation. And it was a scene shot in D.C.
Okay.
The ending where Hallie and Eddie meet in the bus.
Oh, yeah.
That's shot in D.C. Northwest.
Wow.
Really?
That's a reshoot. And it was while we were shooting Distinguished Gentleman. I'm standing in the background still with him.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Halle Berry for the first time. This was her first introduction.
Absolutely.
So she was humble. I mean, she always is still. And I'm just looking like, wow, look at this. And I was mistaken as a Hudlin that day. From the
I see it.
I was mistaken for a Hudlin that day. They said,
I see it.
And so the extras were there, and they kind of knew I was with.
Right.
I love house party.
Yeah. And, just so y'all know, I'm wearing suits every day.
With that tie.
Different ties. But I'm wearing a suit every day.
Yeah.
So this is Howard Gibson, the PA who wears suits on the Distinguished Gentleman scene every day. People looking at me stopping cars like this in the suit, hot as in the middle of summer, like this. I got tissue up under that suit. I'm like this, got my tie on.
I do know that about DC. It does get hot in the summer.
It's hot in the summer.
Humid, you can't breathe.
Yeah.
You can't breathe.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I got this tie on. I can't take it off because it don't look nice up underneath. So I got to keep
it. They stuck.
I'm stuck with the tie on. This is the tie guy. And I'm the suit guy.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Okay, so I was stuck in that, and it was an incredible time. I also met one of my life best friends in the world, Kelly Williams. Kelly Shanice Williams played Laura on Family Matters.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
She showed up on the set that day, and she was also from Maryland, like maybe 15 minutes away from us. Never even knew, And we are incredible friends still today. She blessed my life all the way through this.
Wow.
She's one of the people who held me. Her and her father held me along the way. And that was just an incredible time. So we get in here with this huddle. I'm going to go back to the boomerang. We get in with the huddle. So this lady, she's a locations person. I don't know who she is, but she says she mistaken me for, a huddling or the boomerang production. I'm like, nah. She said, y'all look like each other. And I said, I don't know. Maybe we are family one day. 1997.
Okay.
This was 92. 1997, okay. I come back. I'm living in LA. I come back. I go to George Washington.
Gotcha.
I meet this woman named Jelena Hudlin. Little did I know that's their cousin, first cousin. That's my wife still today, 23 years. So now the Hudlin's been my family for 23 years.
Wow.
How is that possible? And I didn't even know it was many years span. It just happened like that. That's how things are.
That's amazing.
So I look at that situation, and then this is all the first year. Mind you now, I'm giving y'all a timeline. I went straight from not going to that graduation to Howard University. The next day, I'm on Distinguished Gentleman. By the end of that week, I'm hired. 2 weeks later from that, I'm on Boomerang.
You hired, fired, and hired.
I'm hired, fired, and hired. Yeah. And in the middle of this, and let me show you how blessing it is. And this is the directional path that I can reveal now that I'm pushing forward. I was on the Capitol Hill. And it was kind of, everybody was pointing to me. At least I felt this way. I'm new. Everybody's talking to everybody's knowing my name. I'm the, from D.C. Y'all, you born from D.C. Y'all, call me pastor, all that kind of stuff. Right? Whatever. There's a security guard on top of the hill. And he's blocking these two white men walking down. And it hit me. I know who they are. It was Roy Disney and Michael Eisner.
Wow.
President of Disney. And they walking down the hill. And this big security guard, whoa, stop. And I hauled him up there. Now, mind you, I know who these people are because I was looking at Amazing Story. Y'all remember Amazing Stories back in the day? It's a little short TV show. Every time Amazing Story come on, and I was fixated on Disney, Walt Disney.
Okay.
I would see Roy Disney and I would see Michael Eisner introduce the Amazing Story short films, like Twilight Zone.
Right.
And I saw him. And I'm 18, so it wasn't that far away. Like 14 or 12, and I know who they are. And the security guard was kind of bothering them a little bit. They were, and I ran up there and I said, I told the security guard, because he knows me. And I'm saying, they're good.
Right.
These two guys are good. Do you know who they are? We on the Brain of Vista. We on the Brain of Vista movie. This is Disney.
Wow.
This is Mr. Roy Disney.
Wow.
And Michael Eisner. They looked at me and said, how do you know us?
This is the money.
I'm 18 in a suit.
Headlight, yeah.
Okay, I'm telling him, stop, come on with me. The security guard like, huh?
This kid has so much power.
Who is this guy?
So we end up walking, and mind you, in the distance, Eddie and those guys, they down by the waterfront. I'm up here dealing with Disney and Eisner. Everybody turn and look like this. And Roy Said, thank you. Patting my shoulder. They said, who are you?
Wow.
And I walked and said, I'm here with Russell. I had to be oh, Russell, we love Russell.
Yeah.
I stood there, talked to them. Maria Shriver come up.
What?
Wow.
I'm standing here like,
wow.
I'm having this conversation with them.
You met a Kennedy?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. And again, we talking a month out of me making my decision.
Making a decision, yeah.
You're like
Sometimes
LeBron James, man. You went from high school to the league.
Yeah.
You're like LeBron.
That's a good analogy right there, dude. Yeah.
And the thing was, are you ready? Get ready. And get on my speed ASAP.
Yeah.
I've been that way, and everybody around me, get on my speed. This is as fast as I'm going. You getting on the race? Hit the gas.
Yeah.
Because we can't go back. God got us going this way.
Yeah.
That's that's amazing when God, he's going to tell you he's going to do this stuff, and when he starts showing it to you and it starts happening, you're like, wow.
Yeah. You know, and I had to embrace it.
Yeah.
I had to embrace it, and I had to say, he kept telling me, don't turn around.
Yeah, because you could have shied away from that.
Yeah. It was overwhelming.
Did it seem surreal, though?
It was surreal. Well, I'll tell you how surreal it was. When I went home, nobody could quite understand. Nobody could quite understand. It wasn't, I was rich or anything. It was just like, but everybody, it turned into that.
Man, you rich in favor.
All of that. You know?
Yeah.
I'm rich in knowledge and experience at that point. You know, and I'm just like, it was overwhelming. Everybody wanted in. Everybody wanted this. And I just started turning into that vessel of information back home and opportunity. And so that was a great experience for me. Right after Distinguished Gentleman Boomerang, there was zero hiccup. Joseph Ray was the first AD, loved me so much, said, come to me. You live in D.C., right? I said, yeah. Well, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be in Baltimore. Can you get to Baltimore every day? I said, yes, sir. I didn't know how.
Find a
and
way.
he said, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm 18. I don't know how I'm going to get to Baltimore.
But I'm going to get on that parkway.
You know. Right. And I made a little bit of money. I made like $2,000. I thought I was rich.
Balling.
Yeah, I thought I was balling. I was like, it's my car.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do something. I went and bought my $300 car. You know?
Okay.
I made it happen. And that was, I went to Media Man.
Wow. Was that shot in Baltimore?
Yes, sir.
That was Baltimore.
Baltimore, Maryland, Robert Townsend.
And
can I give you this story? This is another favorite story. Because of God placing Russell in my mother's life, giving me the superpower to just believe that it's possible from this street. The street that from outside, nobody sees anything. Don't believe anything. And I said, I see one thing. And I had never seen him until that moment. Right after that moment, Joe said, come with me. I'm going to Boomerang. I'm going to Media Man. I said, yes, sir. I get up there. I didn't know it was Robert Townsend movie. I didn't know who was in it. I didn't know anything. I get up there, and we go into the scene. They had already been shooting for a week. And they were going to do another 2 months. So I was like, okay, that's going to be good for me. I'm going to make $500. You're going to make you $500 a week. I was like, I'm 18, y'all. $500 a week. Man.
Where do I sign?
God.
Right.
So Joe gets me up there. He was changing out. They were swapping out the AD. He gets up there. I'm standing with Joseph Ray, who's the first assistant director. Top dog, right by the director. There's people all over, and I see these big fruit, like big oranges, gigantic props in this urban area. It looks like it's overran. Like the concept was the meteor hit this garden and everything blew up. And there's all these people lined up on the street. We're behind the cars looking into it. You got the picture?
Oh, yeah.
There's a homeless guy right in front of me pointing that direction
to the
scene. And he's yelling and screaming vulgar. I'm standing behind him. I'm like, and the producers and Joe not saying nothing. Mother suckers. You this, and I'm like, the scene is on. And they say, cut, and he stopped. Turn around. Oh, it's Bill Cosby. I'm right behind Bill Cosby. And I said, wow. And he turned around. He was cursing.
He wasn't saying floor and filth.
He was cursing.
He's actually saying the words.
He was cursing.
Wow.
And he turned around when he said, oh, I'm sorry. He didn't know I was right behind him, this close.
Yeah, yeah.
And he grabbed me, embraced me like this. Everybody is looking at Bill Cosby embrace me. Okay?
Yeah. Because we know who Bill Cosby is.
He felt really bad, so bad, that I went, when he walked away, Joe Ray, he knew everybody was there. I was with, who was the, I'm sorry, we're going to edit that out. I don't want to put that name on it if we need to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, mark that for me, Deke.
Okay. But we went in there, just mark that. Okay? We went up there, saw the producer, and she signed off the love. Who is this? You know them? Okay, you in. Bless me. Okay? And Cosby said, I'm so sorry that you heard me say that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Have a lunch with me. So that day, first day on Media Man, I signed a contract. I'm in the PA now. I'm having lunch with Bill Cosby.
Quick question. What are you doing when you leave here? Because I'm hanging with you.
Right. Hey, you got the juice.
I'm going to treat you like the stump of the Apollo, bro.
Right.
It's just favor at that moment. And then, following up and follow through. I had to be that kind of a person that they would be able to speak to without
question.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just, I don't care what it is. You want me to erase it? In fact, we were doing crazy stuff like, taking paint off the walls because they spray painted with the wrong paint. And, so literally, okay, sir, let me do it. Give me the bucket. Let me figure this out. Do it all day. This one don't work, so let me get something else. Okay, that one working. That's how I was going on that show. God bless me with Marla Gibbs, Robert Guillaume.
Wow.
James Earl Jones.
Wow.
Luther Vandross. Big Daddy Kane.
Right.
So you playing now.
He played the villain.
yeah, he did, yeah.
Another Bad Creation.
Oh, wow. ABC.
Yeah. Tretch was there. I took Tretch to a party one night. Show me Baltimore. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got all them in the car. Luther Vandross, don't take me around cows. Yes, sir. Let me get the streetway. He don't like cows.
Okay.
Cool. Luther Vandross don't like to see cows.
That's interesting.
Let me make a left.
Okay.
It's not a joke. And Don Cheadle and I became Golden Lords together.
Yeah.
So then Roy Fagan is there. He's the Golden Lord leader, and I am the exact same height, weight, and everything than Roy Fagan. And they say, put him in the. You want to do stunts, Howard? I say, yeah, I do some stunts. I don't care because they kind of said Howard would do anything.
He'll do anything. He like Mikey from the Life cereal.
He would do anything. And I was like, man, I don't care what department. I'll do anything. I'm trying to figure it out which one department I want to go. And they gave me that freedom because God blessed me through Russell and the connections thereafter. And so I was kind of running around and not realizing I had been favored, going through different departments and hanging out with Marla Gibbs. And I remember she did some real estate deal, and I got in the car and drove her around. This is an off day. And I'm driving Marla Gibbs around. She's doing real estate investments. And I done met Robert Townsend's mother, and we at the hotel with her. And I'm just, again, in awe. Nothing stopped. When that day I started, that decision, it didn't stop.
Yeah.
I had to embrace it.
Dang.
So I met all of these people. I ended up doing the stunt coordinator show. So the scene where Robert Townsend is fighting Roy Fagan, part of that is me.
See, now I got to go back and watch it again.
Part of that's me. I got this big old wig on, this big blonde wig on, this black outfit on, and I'm Golden Lord, and they doing all this kind of stuff. He did all that, but I'm the fight sequence and getting punched. That's me.
Wow.
And I'm 19 at that time. And it just
you ain't but a year out of high school at this point.
Not even a full year.
Not a full year.
It was months. Before Christmas.
You hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people go to college just to get to that point?
Right.
And some of them still don't make it?
Right. And what was the funny thing about it is everybody treated me so well. Towards the end of the show, I found out. I said, man, why everybody love me? You know what, Howard? We know you Howard Gibson now, but we thought you were Ennis Cosby the whole time.
Wow.
Whole time.
And when he turned around, he probably saw that in you.
And I didn't know Ennis at that point.
Yeah.
Ennis, we favor each other. We favored each other at that moment, and I connected to him later. But and I was just like, whoa! I'm green eyes. I mean, I had no idea how Ennis looked. His wife, none of that. And I was just young. I thought his wife was, Felicia Rashad, Miss Huxtable. That's why my mind went that, Miss Camille, no disrespect.
Yeah, of course.
But I didn't think that far. I was a teenager, and I carried it like he was, Huxtable. And I heard him curse, and it was like, ooh, and he was never on the stage with that. And I had a reaction when he turned. I was like, I was horrified. And he saw it, and he grabbed me, and he stuck to me. We had lunch, and we just hung out the whole time.
I'm sorry, I would have been rolling had I heard Bill Cosby curse. I'm like,
I know that would have seemed weird in the mugs, man.
Yeah, and it was. Trust me, I went home and was like, "Yo, Bill Cosby."
Like, trust me,
he was going.
He a real dude.
So he was a real guy. Yeah, right. He a real guy. Yeah,
his little alcohol like this. Philly. He go like this and go like this.
Yeah.
People forget Bill from Philly, man.
Yeah.
Billy from Philly.
But you know what? That moment, it did something in me. I must admit. Having to be exposed in that first year, the amount of history in the industry, and those people were caring people. James Earl Jones had this big old crazy afro.
I remember that, like to the side.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing James Earl Jones put that wig on. And I got to walk him down the street. I'm proud. I'm going to walk James Earl Jones. And nobody going to say nothing to him.
Right.
He wearing what? And there was some crazy folks out there in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got some crazy stories.
And
we had to protect that. I felt I was from D.C. I had cousins out there. Everybody came again. But again, it was me going back home telling everybody. And my sister said, Chris, you gotta get into this. Come on, we got.
What was she doing at that time?
Yeah, that's a good.
We were doing our home stuff. We were just kids doing kid stuff, and and Crystal was big into cheer. Crystal, she's incredible with that.
Okay,
she started doing cheer and dance and got a whole cheer and dance arena. She got in, started doing number ones with the high school, and ended up getting her own 5,000 square foot warehouse and started doing cheer and dance, started winning competitions nationally, and writing on the side, keeping that going, and then some of those times, Crystal, all right, I'm gonna get you this makeup and hair gig. You know makeup and hair. Can you learn this week? All right, you good or you in?
All right,
that's what happened.
So that's what you
did. Then it's like, Chris, they need to act it real quick. Can you cry? Can you be a college student and cry? Okay, come on down here. She in there, and I'm laughing. I'm the camera guy laughing. I was like, okay, let's not act. I can't stop doing that. I'm messing up the money. So then, and it just got like that with me and my sister were like freaking frack, and I became a Steadicam operator. God bless me. Going back to college, going all the way back to that, right? So in the midst of all this, I'm 18, 19, I already had that. I got blessed into UCLA. So that's why I had to tell you this story to get to that point. Said, man, you want to go in? I said, I want to go in. What do you want to do? I want to be a Steadicam operator. Steadicam? Steadicam was a brand new invention, just a few years off. Yeah. And they said, ain't nobody black doing Steadicam.
What?
Chuck Jackson was the vice president of the invention of the Garrett Brown. They invented it. He was the vice president, black guy. Chuck Jackson passed away. Chuck Jackson said, you in? I said, what you mean by that? I'm going to get you in school.
Wow.
So they got UCLA had their film master program, satellite program in Maine, Rockport, Maine. International Film Workshops, sponsored by UCLA. Got me up there. I got in, never paid $1.
Wow.
Had my room and board the whole time. Stayed in it, got certified, got all of my education, got me straight into the game. I ended up being the first African American on the East Coast. Steadicam operator.
Yeah, man. Nice.
In the union, signed in, and that pushed me to end up. Videos came out,
That's what I was going to ask you about, because you've done a plethora of music videos.
Tons of videos.
Yeah. What was your first? Do you remember your first music video?
My first music video.
Yeah.
Whoa. My first official music video.
And
EPMD crossover.
What?
Wow, dude. Crossover.
You live in my life, Howard.
I'm vicariously living right here.
EPMD crossover. I was a PA.
Okay.
Cold out there.
Yeah.
Wasn't that fun? Making fire.
Yeah.
Standing over there hurting. It was a fly video.
Mm-hmm, it was good.
Yeah. Didn't feel like it.
They paid the cost for that one.
Crossover was the first official video.
Okay.
I did smaller stuff.
Okay.
Because when you say that, my first official video was probably, I'll have to say, in church. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I did Clark Sisters before I was 18.
Okay.
I did, John P. King. Mm-hmm. Everybody came to the church and we did videos, you know. And we put them out and sold them in tapes. So church made money off that.
Yeah, they had to come through DC.
Yeah.
When they had to come through DC, you had to come through the big mega churches.
Joints.
Back in the 80s, that's us.
Wow.
Know? So that's my first secular video, EPMD. But since that time, I mean, Tupac's recording, I connected really early.
Really?
Because we were from Maryland, real.
Yeah,
for real.
Baltimore. Yeah.
For real. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't what he appeared to be. Mm-hmm. To be honest, he was.
That's what I hear.
He was not what he appeared to be. Mm-hmm. That was his persona.
Because you met him at what stage?
Before all of that.
Before all of that, okay.
Yeah, he had did he had to hit what's the big
was it Brenda's Have a Baby?
Brenda's, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Brenda's Got a Baby.
Yeah. Brenda's Got a Baby. Yeah.
Brenda's got he had crossed that threshold.
Yeah,
as a solo artist.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point, we were kind of, there. And in fact, the year he passed, just around my birthday in September, I actually still have a letter of him signing my deal that he was going to be in my first film. Mm. And he passed away before we could make it happen. Him and Ice-T.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That would have been dope.
And 96, and it didn't happen. Mm. I pushed forward. I kept going. And it didn't happen. I had those moments, of just, going and stopping and going, because at a certain point, the big films, I decided to transition because I was by myself. I didn't prepare myself properly to jump in that. God put me in it. But the preparation from that and to have the stability, I didn't want to lean against Russell to move to LA to go bunk with him and do any of that, I just said, I'm going to do it, man. To be honest, man, I got my car and drove a $300 car. It took me 2 weeks to get to LA. I raised some capital and gave it to one of the PAs on one of the sets. And it took me 2 weeks to get there, breaking down.
Wow.
Way. The car wasn't ready for 3,000 miles.
3,000 miles, yeah.
And it was tough. Nobody believed I had to go. And when I got there and, knocked on the door in Sherman Oaks, he had taken my money and left to Oakland. And I was homeless in that car for 3 months. So I stayed in there. Kelly Williams was the one who blessed me. She never knew I was homeless. I never showed anybody. Wow. Tupac didn't know I was homeless. I was living in my car in Venice Beach for 3 months, and I pulled it together. I pulled myself together. I was clean. I never complained. My parents didn't know I lost a lot of weight at that point, and I was barely eating. And I just stayed in prayer and faith that God would give me all of that. And then to me to go out on my own, and it was tough because I didn't want to compromise myself. I wanted to do it with my family. I wanted to do it a certain kind of way.
Right.
Bring them in, and it just wasn't that way. And I put myself in incredible positions, but people came to me in a very wrong way I won't speak on. And I just decided I don't go that direction. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that.
Facts.
Yeah, and that shunned me out in many ways. And I was shocked.
That's a ticket.
It definitely is a ticket when they see you and you're young and you're smart. Man and woman gonna come at you, period. Like that, period.
Yeah.
And you have to make your decision what you're gonna do. And I chose to stay upright, and I chose to stay focused and steadfast. And that pushed me out in many, many ways. But the note in all of that, the silver lining in all of that, in the midst of all of that, that's when things shifted for Crystal and I.
Okay.
I was out there.
Because now we're what year? Where are we now?
This is 92, 93.
Okay.
So 91 to 92 was my year of transition and change.
Okay.
So by 93, I got back home and Crystal had this script that she was writing, the screenplay first time, called Trail of Tears. Okay. And she had did a lot of research of our family and ancestors. And the story is, they made the Indians walk west to the Mississippi. Andrew Jackson did that. And we found out that we had family connected to that, you know, and she did enough research through my great grand uncles and aunties, and she crafted up an incredible story, so powerful that felt like roots to me. And I had been exposed to films and stuff, and I said, I think this is like different. This is good. And God bless me again. Because of those relationships, I had a friend say, a director named Tim Reed is in Virginia. He's doing this movie called Once Upon a Time When They Were Colored. And I can get you to Professor Al Freeman Jr., actor Al Freeman Jr.
Wow.
And at the time, he was a professor at Howard University, overseeing everything. It was like his, you know, his give back. And I took it to Al Freeman Jr. I wasn't at Howard University. Everybody thinks I'm at Howard University because I was there so much.
So much, yeah.
Yeah. Taraji Henson, first film is through me.
Really?
Yes, sir. Check it out. IMDb, Streetwise. I got plucked out of Howard University. Single mom out there trying to do it. I said her. So shout out to Taraji.
Yeah.
Streetwise. Yes, sir. Washington, D.C., Bruce Brown, director and producer.
Okay.
And writer-director. Shouted with him. He blessed me. He was an OG. He came in. He saw me. I was 19. I had did all these works. And I was a Steadicam operator. He said, teach me that. He had the money to buy one. I said, you got $80,000? He went and bought it.
Wow.
I said, you need a 35mm camera? You need this? You did? He went and got it. And we shot Streetwise. Actually, he shot several films, but I took off from that point. I did Streetwise with them, and in the midst of that, other things started coming my way, you know, music videos.
Yeah.
And I was called. So Shy came out of Howard University, and if I ever fall, I shot that.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I shot a lot of go-go band videos back then.
I had to shoot those.
Work the wall.
Work the walls.
I did a lot of that back then.
You didn't do the one where he was at the pool, the infamous video that came out where the girls was just going wild. It was, I think it was the Work the Walls.
Yes. Well, you know what? They did two versions of that.
Okay.
They did two versions.
Well,
of that.
this must have been the After Dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
In fact, yeah. You know, I was. You know, and the thing about it was, I'm a PK, and I'm getting in on the call it AAA. I got straight in on AAA level of entertainment. AAA. First film I seen was 90 million.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about independent filmmaking. I went from a church, built that up. But that filmmaking, and so I would go on from major films back to back,
yeah.
And there was a need that I was by myself. I didn't consider that. I didn't consider it, you know. And then I didn't want to jump into those phrases of other people's mentalities or directions they were going, and that kept me very alone in this industry. But I met so many people, and all they've ever known is Howard. When you get him around, that's the guy. He's gonna make it happen. And so that cultivated over years.
Okay.
And so Crystal, she was at home mother. She had raising kids. She had 6 kids.
Okay.
And my brother was in the film. My older brother. He was into music, and they were doing local go-go music.
Okay.
And I was the only one by myself, man. You know, my baby sister's at home. She's 19 years younger than me. I mean, I was by myself in LA.
Yeah.
You know, and 19. You know, what do you do? You know, and I just kept focusing. And over that time, you know, from 19 to 29, man, it was crazy. I mean, I saw Tupac go in and out of jail, get shot, scared the life out of me. I was scared to go do videos for certain artists.
Of course.
Around Death Row. I was, you know, so many different artists, man, I had to work with. You know, they were one hitters and out. But, you know, when you got that one hit, you go crazy. You know, so I was always a part of those one hit scenarios. You know, I got 5 on it. Like, you know, just, you know.
Yeah, the Loonies.
Yeah. Alcoholics.
Yeah, okay.
Far Side. Just, I was in LA, man. You know, Sam Snead was under Dr. Dre. Think You Better Recognize. Once again, you know, you remember that? Think You Better Recognize. I mean, I was in it, you know. So many. I can't even name them all, you know, because it was just, at that point, it was just, we were working every week, you know. Every week, some were hitting big, some were not, and the some were nots was good for me because our open budget was $150,000, $200,000. You know,
easy.
Yeah. That was like I couldn't even have a conversation under that.
Right.
Because it was just too hard to do that. You know, Wu-Tang would call us up. I got $1 million, Killer B. Let's go.
Right.
I'm gonna do that. Big shout out to RZA.
Ain't nothing to mess with.
That's my man. Right. And then and like people like Wu-Tang and RZA, blessed me along the way. RZA and I did a documentary. He did World According to RZA.
Okay.
20 years ago, RZA went around the world. Check it out. RZA went around the world and produced international content, basically introducing the world of hip hop, or going over there to see what some of his links has created in the global spectrum.
Gotcha.
And we went over there to Europe, and it was insane. We were in Greece, Italy, and Rome, and we were everywhere.
That influence goes far, because you got people with Wu-Tang tattoos over in other countries.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And and when we were landing in London, and just thousands of people.
Throngs of people out there.
Like right there, just like, whoa. And I got the cameras, I'm shooting everything, and we did that. That ended up being a documentary that was never released in the U.S. Ended up being a multi-platinum hit, a documentary and an album, World According to RZA, never released in the U.S. And won awards over there, never went and got those. As a perseverer, I tell you, man, it's Stellar Awards nomination, I didn't even show up.
Really?
I'm working the next day. Yeah, I did something with Dietrich and we got nominated.
Okay.
That just, God didn't give me that part. I'm not looking for accolades. I'm not. I'm looking for what God gave me, which is the works that He gave in me. Let me use that. And it shifted on me. I must admit, I went from a $300 car to a better car.
Pushing a little something. $3,000 car.
I had Ferraris, man. I had Ferraris. I had, Bentleys. I was just out of control for a minute. Because you can't tell no 25-year-old, 24-year-old, he not making $200,000 a month.
Right.
You can't tell me that.
Kanye said, you can't tell me nothing.
Nothing. I'm giving back home. I'm going back to D.C., giving love and everything like that. But that washed away because the technology hit me.
Gotcha.
And so technology hit me 20 years ago before everybody knew, because it hit the record labels first with, the Napster.
Digital,
And it hit me directly.
The industry upside down.
Yeah, it hit the artists directly, and it hit our lifestyles directly as filmmakers. All cookies in one basket in the music video and commercial space. I had to lean on commercials, and then that really wasn't my gig, because they didn't need a lot of black commercials or black guys giving the message to the world.
Yeah.
They'll let the white guys get the black guys in there to do that. The guys who were doing the videos next to us and competing with us, they get in the job first before they give it to us.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was at Propaganda Films, which was the biggest film company in the United States. We represented 52 top directors: Antoine Fuqua, Michael Bay, Dominique Cinnamon, Simon West.
Oh, wow.
Michael Bay is doing Transformers now.
Yeah.
Francis Lawrence is doing Catch the Fire, just Guardian of the Galaxy. Just so many projects. I remember these were the homies.
Wow.
Right next to us. And we were in the urban department, banging out, all of that. Death Row coming through the fray. Tupac died to knock the door at the Propaganda come and say, we need all of our negatives and our masters right now.
Wow.
With a gun. Can we get that? Thank you.
Like this way.
So that's what I was going through all the time. Having faith, saying, God, keep me for real.
Yeah.
Because you got me in this. Keep me. And I want to do this. And so it's always been my prayer to create a brother and sister Filmworks. In fact, that's what I created some 30 plus years ago. Brother and sister Filmworks.
Okay.
And we always had a plan to do that. So I'm just vibing with y'all, man. I'm telling y'all all this story, man.
Good stuff, bro.
You got my attention, bro.
Man.
I never, I'm the one who doesn't really speak. I don't. I'm just focused on trying to make things happen.
I'll let you in on a little something. I don't know if you've seen like a lot of our past interviews. He's hitting the guests with like question after question after question. This is the first time I ever seen him
taking it all in. I'm learning right now, bro.
I'm sorry.
No.
We from DC, man. I'm just giving you the experience, man. What happens from the district, man. What comes out of the district. Straight hustle, straight blessing. And my hustle is for God's faith, man. I'm telling you. People ask me all the time, man, how do you, my faith and my hope.
Mm-hmm.
I would literally shut my whole body down and just stop and say, speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I going? What do you want me to do? You know? And God would give me the most craziest thing. And I'd be like, huh? Man, I done put you in this. You going to handle this. And so that's what happened, bro. You know, going back to Trail of Tears, Al Freeman Jr.,
mm-hmm.
he said, can you come down to Petersburg, Virginia? I said, yes, sir. Didn't know how I was going to do it, but it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I got to Petersburg, and Al Freeman Jr. put in the hands of this newcomer named Sally Richardson.
Mm.
It was crazy. Sally read it and said, what? Felicia Rashad, read this.
Mm-hmm.
Got in Felicia Rashad's hand, you know, and I'm like, huh? And then I get this call. I get a phone call from Felicia Rashad. And she said, come sit with me. And so I went up on her deck,
mm-hmm.
and then she told me this movie it moved every single one of us on the set.
Mm.
Richard Roundtree, everybody had it. Made copies of it. And they wanted to meet Crystal and I. And she said, come back. So my dad, I went back home and said, Miss Huxtable got the script. She said, come back for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So we all went back, my dad, my cousin Gib, and Crystal, and we sat down with her to the sunset. And she blessed it. She spoke into us. And she connected us to the Coen brothers, Fargo. And
North
Carolina.
That is funny.
So she connected us to the Coen brothers, and they read our script, and they fell in love with us,
mm-hmm.
and wanted to put us through the Nicole Fellowship, the Disney Fellowship.
Okay.
And we entered it, and we won.
Mm.
And we won first prize. And they flew Crystal and I. Crystal was 20, I was 19. They flew us both. This was our official first time together on
mm-hmm.
a plane to even go to California by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Got to rent a car. Dad sent us some money, and just we went around into Warner Brothers lots at
mm-hmm.
Disney. They showed us all around, and Alan Wertheim he did Shaft and all these kind of movies, and he sat us down, took us to Paul Newman's restaurant, and said, you guys are going to be big, you know? And they pushed it out there, but the industry at that time were on the heels of Dancing with Wolves and all of these historic movies,
mm-hmm.
and they said it's not the right time, you know? And they wanted us to develop and kind of slid us over a script that I can't name,
mm-hmm.
but the script fixed that. See if you can do that, you know? And we looked at it, and it was like, this is what they wanted to finance.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this father beating up this kid and this, that, and the other, and there's all this dysfunction in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming out of church, man. I'm like, I can't take that back home.
Yeah.
At 19, we
mm-hmm.
can't do this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Disney, y'all want us to do that. You know, but y'all teaching us the game, but you're going to create our narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Brother and sister going to do this about, I don't come from my father beating me up. My father's, he beating up the word to people.
Right,
he like, you good.
mm-hmm.
Not the other way.
Right.
And so Crystal couldn't, you know, we just kind of split up. Crystal went back home. She wasn't ready for it, you know, and I stayed on my hustle, man.
Okay.
And that's how propaganda and all these videos happen.
Mm-hmm.
Around 2012, actually 2007,
mm-hmm.
Dietrich was the one who moved me to Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, Dietrich and I,
mm-hmm.
went along with Apostle Verl Howard, was
mm-hmm.
the producer of 85 South Gospel Street for the Gospel Movie Channel.
Gotcha.
Gospel
mm-hmm.
Music Channel.
Yeah, yeah.
When they first came out,
mm-hmm.
launched out here.
Yeah.
You know.
I was with him in what? That was him in Demeter, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We did that. And,
okay.
We you know, came to Atlanta, and it's before Tyler was really
mm-hmm.
doing too much. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I said, Dietrich, he wanted to do this in Detroit. And I was like, I think we need to do it in Atlanta because TD was going to be there for the Impact Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, we need to be in Atlanta. Apostle Verl was like, yeah, let's do it. I can get everybody. I mean,
mm-hmm.
you got Verl around, she can get everybody.
Yeah.
So we said, let's get some buses
mm-hmm.
and go back and forth from the studio. And we got Dietrich's sets, and we built those sets up there. and we knocked out a whole season, 2 seasons. We did 24 episodes in a weekend, you know, and we had everybody walk through the door. You know, and Brad Siegel over there, he was the chief over there at the time, and he looked at that and was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah," you know, and it was just something great, and I stayed there, I stuck to it, and you know, and I fell in love with Atlanta, and I started developing projects. I got back into music videos, although those budgets went from 150, 200 at my top, $1 million at times. You know, now I had to figure out how to live with $20,000 budgets. I know that still sounds a lot today for 2021, $20,000 budgets. But, you know, that got me into the whole D4Ls and the TIs
here.
And the Rick, you know, and the Young Jeezys and everything. And I did that, Rick Ross. And it kept going down. 5,000. I can't tell. And I'm building up a family. I got a wife. I got this big house. What you want me to do, you know? Yeah. And so I found out about augmented reality and artificial intelligence and Georgia Tech, and I stepped aside from the business. I told Coach K this. Shout out to Coach K this on the shoot. We were doing a shoot with Monica and some other people were there. And I said, Coach, I'm leaving the film business, man. I'm going to technology. And he said, huh? I said, yeah. And my directors and everybody blew up, and I pushed everybody. But I'm so thankful that I was able to get to that place and to see the other side of me.
Right.
I didn't know I had the other side. And it was detrimental to me because I was losing. When you're selling cars, you're selling Bentleys, you're selling, you know, all that. You're still trying to keep that. Now, down here, I end up, I'm selling, but having to front myself. You know, at times we had 10, 20,000 square foot houses, you know, here, you know, crazy, you know, and I'm like, this is not sustainable. And I got out of that, you know, and so I got a good news for everybody, you know, this is a new way. So I was out of it. I got into artificial intelligence, machine learning. I started dealing with hedge funds and private equity, learning about that. I got in the business aspect of the entertainment business, because throughout that time, one day somebody asked me, how much money have you ever made in all the projects that you've been connected to? I can't even come up with that number. Not at all. It's in the billions. If we touch Tupac and 4 of his videos,
right?
LL Cool J, Shania Twain, Travis Tritt.
Sheesh.
I mean, I can keep going.
Yeah.
Sting. We gave him the ideas. We gave them the ideas. We made them look good. We gave you the identity. People don't understand right now. These kids don't understand. They're creating an artificial something that we created. It wasn't real. P. Diddy didn't have that money like he had that money when he first started Bad Boy. That Rollie was here. These rappers, the jewel, we had to go find Jacob. Man, get these chains on the neck. Oh, let me look at that. Let me rock this. Let me get that. Ooh, whose car is that? Let me get that car. Go get me a nice car so I can front in it. And we doing it. Now understanding that you're creating a relationship with me with the brands, not knowing people, not knowing really the power of that. So I started seeing me in a small cluster of people from the early 90s taking rap from the street cipher and being in the shadow of P. Diddy from Howard University, seeing how he did everything, take us to this Versace world, this brand world, this Tommy world. I mean, we used to talk against Tommy Hilfiger back in the days.
Folks will still wear it, though.
But you know, it's like, what are we really doing?
Right.
Can we get some real money out of this? Why is this shirt costing? Why is this blouse costing $1,000, $1,500? When the inner city got to feel like they need that because Biggie rocking it. You know? And so, again, me being different. Coming up through church, coming up through independently thinking. I saw my father and black men raise capital and bless people back with the money, speaking to them. And I'm getting the other side. We're going to take it.
Yeah.
We're going to take it. We're going to blow up and let them worship us. I'm the artist. You just work for me. I'll fire you. And that's how it was. And so I didn't like that. I didn't agree with that. I always wanted my sister and my brothers and my family around me to do this. So only the blessing of God was able to get this going. 2012, I made that decision. When I got out of it, 2010, I made the decision. I started making money in technology and got out and beside me and had a stroke and went down. Dude, I was 150 pounds heavier right now. I was paralyzed on my left hand side, as you can see. And I went down, you know, and I missed 2012 Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Wow.
You know, and I couldn't stop. I wanted to stop that lifestyle. I wanted to get out the mansions. I wanted to stop all that. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't, you know, because I had put myself in a position that I was detrimental to me. And so
it became like the need for speed,
it's just like this fabricated thing. And I'm trying to be this way, and it's like, God, dude, you don't want to, you know, I'm forcing me into God's equation for me.
Right.
You know, and every time you do that, you're gonna fall, man. And it happened. It literally took me down because I was too strong, pushing too hard, you know. And it said stop. And when I stopped, everything was gone, man. I was in comatose pretty much for months, and wife got rid of everything. It was too much pressure, and she did it for me. And she got me back into health, got me back up. And since that time, I have been cultivating my original plan of action, which is to take on technology and take on this new financing ways to get money that people don't understand in the creative world. And I can connect those two dots.
Right.
And was able to do that with artists.
Okay.
And help them create brands and technology plays, filmmakers and actors alike. And I was able to do that. And then I had enough confidence to say, I want to go back home. I want to go home, man.
Yeah.
And I went home 2 years ago. And my dad got my sister and I. My plan was to go back home and to start my accelerator program, which I have, called the Media Accelerator, Media, Entertainment, E-commerce, and Technology Platform. So I would basically cultivate and create a pipeline of distribution finances, take your idea and take that and create a new iteration, create a reality, teach people how to create a business, how to raise capital, how to create valuations by connecting with things that are already evaluated. So if I took a new client, a new business, and I have 5 businesses already going and they're inside my cipher, let's go contract with this person. What did I just do to that person? I get a person value. I get a company value. You know, and that's what we do. You know, it's hedge funding things, you know, and I learned from the best from these guys out here, some of them in Atlanta, Triton VP, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, put me in through the game, through the tranches of that time, coming out of my stroke, you know, completely out of my element, pulled me through the world. I went to the Middle East. I went to Dubai, Lebanon, meeting CEOs everywhere, flying in $50 million jets. Go pick them up and bring them to Dallas. Laying down a $50 million jet, go get in and go there, come back for the meeting because they needed me there.
Wow.
You know, went to the Capitol, the state Capitol, talking about technology and education and mobile. I've been knowing about what's going to happen for 5 years, you know, and I can't talk about everything right now, so I'm gonna stop. But really and truly, God put me in an amazing way. And so I just wanted to just be Howard Gibson again. Yeah. So I went home. My daddy said, you and your sister, and at that time, my sister independently saw all the years what I did, said, I'm going to do this. And she wrote this. She had still been doing like little jobs on film sets as the script supervisor. And one thing led to the next. They were like, you can write? She said, I can write. And she got with Brett Dismuke, who was a producer at that time. And he got the call. The BET is launching this new network called BET Her. And they need a cancer movie. Can you write? Krista wrote that thing in 15 days.
Like, can I?
Yeah, her only choice. And they sent it to the chief executives over there. And they read that and said, this is the best script I read in my life. This is the best script I've read in my life. She's the chief. She's the executive over there, top dog. Krista said, no, I want to direct it too. So they let her direct because the story was so strong. The story's so strong. And nobody else can mess this up. And she did it, got international acclaim with the International Satellite Awards. It's the prequel to the Golden Globe. Although she didn't win, she got nominated amongst big giant films of Netflix and, you know, the big companies, ABC and HBO, you know. And Laura Dern, I think, won against Crystal. Laura Dern
really?
against my sister.
Wow.
Like, come on, who's gonna win? Come on. Anthony Hopkins is on her same category.
Wow.
Like, you know, and so I'm sitting there at the war ceremony with my sister, like, you ready for this? Because you and me come together, we gonna kill a game.
Gonna kill a game, yeah.
Don't play.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad said it was gonna happen, and we didn't even come up with an idea of the story. I mean, we had a meeting with the network. We found out that UMC was interested in coming up with content. So we had this meeting, and he said, hey, I want to do a TV show. And we pitched it cold right in front of him.
Wow.
We pitched it cold-blooded right in front of him. God said, give us the word. Pitched it. Next day, it wasn't 24 hours. We get the text, greenlit. Can y'all write? Can y'all do it? And that was just the years of my sister proving herself for her strength and all the work and heavy lifting I've been able to do in the shadows of so many. And I said, I'm going to do this for my sister. I'm going to do this for us now. And we were originally supposed to shoot the season 1 of Double Cross in April of 2020, which is the middle pandemic. So y'all wouldn't have seen Double Cross at all. It would not even exist. But we were able to do it. I think my sister wrote the whole show in 1 week. And she basically zoned in on who we are.
Okay. Because that was going to be,
Eric and Erica is our alter egos.
That's what I was going to ask.
And you know, my sister does things, I protect her. And I was like, how are we going to do this? Don't worry about it. That's something I get. Eric is in that. Oh, don't worry about how I do it. It's going to get done. Don't worry about it. Your alter
ego's a little thugged out in the show.
So that's my Southeast side.
That's the Southeast coming out. Right.
And so since I'm not that cut up and all that.
Or tatted.
You are me. Thank you. That's my alter ego. You are me. She can have Ashley, but Ashley's a pretty girl. But Jeff, you going to kill it, baby. And, you know, we talk and engaged and talk about stuff. So a little bit of what you see, a little bit of that is like our conversation.
Kind of spilling out in there,
I say, do you? But you got to have a little bit of nudge of where I am with little things. And they were able to do that. And we play with that. And it's just like fun to us, man. It's back to like, you know, we knock it out. You know, that first season, we went out there. They got the call that we were going to shoot.
Because I shot it in L.A., right?
Yeah. So Crystal did this in 4 days. They read the first script and was like, what the? Can y'all shoot this now? We like, well, can we? And he's like, we're going to give y'all this little bit of money, but can you shoot this now? And so I was like, yeah. So, you know.
Because you got some pretty big recognizable faces in the cast, man.
We're blessed. We're blessed and fortunate, you know, in many ways, because we had Darren DeWitt Henson came in, and Darren, and God spoke to me about it. Jasmine Burke came in also, and she's from Atlanta, and we worked together. When I see her coming up through the game, you know, and I've always admired Darren and saw his work, and Darren's voice kept hitting me. I promise you. I tell Darren this all the time. Season 1, we had some other actors considered for his Detective Ryan role, but I kept hearing Darren's voice. And how he was going to spill those lines. I said, he got that voice. I said, I'm going to get Darren. And it was 2 days before we shot. And we just decided not to go with the other person. And I tracked Darren down through some friends, got him on there, sending that script. Darren was like, whoa. Rest is history. He showed up while we were already shooting, and we gave him a producer's credit. He helped with a lot of the new actors, the Eric and Erica. And Jeff had never acted before.
But I thought Ashley right?
Well, Ashley's established. So she's the lead, but she's got this guy who hasn't done it.
Right.
You know, and
gotta
work that out. You know, and then everybody else is kind of new. And then Darren DeWitt Henson, Jasmine came in as the veterans.
Right.
Came in and they just raised the bar. You know, and then the execution and how, you know, our sets and the locations and how we pull things together in the midst of that budget, it got so impressed that Bob Johnson came to the set, and we found out that nobody had ever seen Bob Johnson come to anybody's set ever in their life since they'd known him from BET. And Bob Johnson said, let me see this. You know, and I had negotiated this 110,000 square foot warehouse with about $20 million worth of sets in it for nothing.
Wow.
Because I understand how to mitigate. I know I spoke to the builders. And so I know how to do certain things, and that was impressive to him. And he was like, how did you do this? You know, this is like Paramount's. It's Viacom. How'd you get in here and loan this? Don't worry about it. I got you. You know? Don't worry about it. I got you. And he was impressed with that. He hung out 3 hours, had food with us, hung out. Since that time, that's Uncle Bob. That's our guy. You know, he blesses us. He blesses us, and we put that out, Double Cross, and we missed our first release.
Okay.
In May, because this pandemic hit, and we were like, "What is going on?" And I had this big technology play I was going to do, dealing with this new technology called Unreal Engine. It's a gaming technology, and Fortnite is their biggest tick out here.
Okay.
And they were talking, and they were making these memes about they were able to take actors and put them inside of the gaming world seamlessly, and then take the gaming environment and make it look photoreal. And I thought that was very intriguing. So I found they were North Carolina, so I made it happen.
Okay.
And I sat there very early on, and before it was a virtual production pipeline through them, and helped them cultivate that idea, and got me to the right people, and got with a AAA company again. God bless him. Same thing. It was a note of, you going to stay here and do this, or you going to go right now. And literally, I went through a storm. I went and rented a car to North Carolina, 4 hours through 3 different storms. I got to the seminar. The seminar was closed because it was a seminar. The seminar was closed. I was late, couldn't get a ticket. I said, I'm going anyway.
That's my famous lines right there.
I walked up in there. By faith, I went to the bathroom, saw people with these Unreal Engine instructor shirts, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm talking to you in the bathroom, sir. But can I talk to you after I wash my hands? Yeah. So I stood out there, and I talked to them. And, you're dealing with me at this point. I'm many, many years in. So once I can pitch, don't let that door open. And I pitched, and literally, it wasn't even 5 minutes before I reached to the CEO. And I sat him down, and in 15 minutes I had a meeting in Los Angeles. And and that next week I partnership up with Halon Entertainment to come up, and we had made the deal with Bob Johnson, RLJE, and at that time UMC, and we cultivated on basically doing a case study on how to take on the Harry Potters of the world on low budgets and match them. Match them. Yeah. And I can do that. And we pulled that together, and then the network didn't see it coming. Nobody saw it coming. They didn't understand it. And actually, we were going to release the result, because it's basically a fully 100% 3D car chase scene. Yeah. Looks photoreal. Nobody can tell the difference. And I did it all on the computer. And I can make it move. I can crash it. I can make it do anything. And I can go, and now the technology, I could take cameras, drive down the street and capture the whole street in 360 degrees and come back into my computer. And now we don't ever have to leave a room and leave the photo. So I was in the very, very early threshold of this. One of the very first, and in fact, it was their liaison to Hollywood. I was with them right there. At the time, they were doing Planet of the Apes 3 and Aquaman 2. And I'm like, can you help my little under $1 million project out? Please, for one scene. And they were like, huh? I was like, use me. God gonna use me. Can you use me? And I'm ready to help you. At the time, it wasn't the BLM uprising that we hear now with George Floyd. And I told him it's human trafficking. It's going to be, this black vigilantes.
What made you all make that the backstory? Because we know what got them.
The attention.
Got the attention of everything, but the backstory was sex trafficking.
Correct. So Southeast DC.
Okay.
Put that in us. Coming up, Washington D.C. put that in us. Every urban city in the United States put that up in us. Knowing that Atlanta child murder. Yeah. Remember all this?
Yeah.
That stuff stuck to us, man. We had family here in Atlanta, and my sister at the time was 12, and she went down there for summer, and they were like taking kids right around that area.
Yeah, wow.
So she had to stay in the whole house the whole summer. And that stuck to her. That stuck to my sister. She's like, how would this Atlanta child murder thing and all this stuff, and we knew some folks disappeared back in the days, and traumatic to us, made us scared that whole year. And we were like, yeah, we got to talk about this. When we went at the numbers, and man, it was staggering, and nobody's talking about
Nobody's talking about it, yeah.
So, that first episode, that was based off a true story, by the way.
Really?
Yes. Let me tell you something. I got a whole
including
bunch. Yes.
Hold up.
Yes.
Let me get this clear.
We had that sitting. We got a whole bunch of those what moments for the past 25 years. We come from the church, man. Come on, everything happens through the church, man. People come there to get prayer, right? They come to get saved from off that, man. We hear the story and why they came to the church to get that service, to get that help. And so over the course of the years, I got a laundry list of things that's going, man, wait till you see it.
You sprinkle it all.
I'm going to give them one. And okay. That was, that's what we did.
Yeah.
But Lord, I'm trying to get out of these streets.
But we did that, so we wanted to captivate people. We knew we can catch them and let's tell them a real story, and shed some light to it. And April 23rd, it hit same day as Michelle Obama on Netflix. By the next day, our social media clips hit 2 million. We were like, I think this has gone viral. I don't know, 2 million is a big number.
Right.
Yeah, and then every day, 1 million more. Every single day. And by the time we hit the finale in 6, we were over 20 million. We went cross seculars because basically their demographic is 35s. We in like World Star now. We at the Shade Room.
Yeah.
We everywhere. We at TMZ. We cross into Deadline, a Hollywood Reporter. They never even knew about UMC. What is this? And we really like the show. Like that first episode,
out the gate.
What?
Yeah.
And they watched the whole thing and was like, no, hold up. So shout out to the other shows, House Divided and Monogamy, which the other anchor shows before us.
Okay.
But Double Cross came in there, and we took to help take the company in the midst of that pandemic 200% increase of their subscription base, and those shows ignited a change order.
Okay.
In the midst of George Floyd, in the midst of our, there was one scene that we had with Jasmine and Darren play the cops. And they chased the young boy. And they pulled weed out of his pocket and let him go. Yeah. That's around the week George Floyd happened.
Okay.
When they killed him. And it was $20 that was his real money. And that hit, 10 million. That one stream hit 10 million.
Wow. So
it was surreal at that moment. Pandemic, we were all at home. We were like, man, we got millions of people, a subscription went up from 4 to 12 million subscribers overnight. And we were just, floored by it. And then right in the middle of that, we were already writing season 2.
Okay.
And then trying to figure out how we were going to get this going. A lot of compromises had to be considered. A lot of health reasons, making sure everybody was secure.
I was going to ask you, how do you all operate on a set now with Corona?
It was a blessing because we cultivated our story inside of our building, which all of our sets live.
Okay. And
so we were able to stay in one location.
So we like in the bubble.
We had to put ourselves in the bubble. This was the hardest thing I ever experienced, man. Just in logistics. There were different zones. Yeah, and we really stayed up on top of the zones and meeting the requirements. We had third party COVID compliances walking around like we were. And they were Asian, not knocking them. I loved them, but they were walking around like I was in one of their convenience stores, man. Couldn't do anything, really. And they were walking around, don't touch that, don't do this, put your mask on. And we were in the building. We shot during the summertime, so in LA it's 100 degrees outside, flash fires outside, so the smog is
real,
terrible.
Yeah.
Then we inside the building, and then we inside of a set, and then we got the mask on.
Yeah.
And then we sweating out our clothes.
Yeah.
Every day. Putting huge fans on our actors before we can say action. So people have no idea how bad the conditions were, how hot it was, and how restricted it was to even do anything for season 2. But we are so happy that we were able to do it. No one hurt. We actually wrapped early, and we went back home in one piece.
Why did y'all decide to make? Is this another real piece sprinkled in? Make Jasmine Burke's character like an alcoholic, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. We had, but let's keep it real. Cops are real people.
Yeah.
I got cousins and family that's police officers. I'm not gonna say one thing to that and then I love him.
Right.
I'm not a hypocrite in that way. And so, that's why we make cops real people
Facts.
We made Darren an honest dude.
He was an honest dude, yeah.
And then he fell into some situation this season. So we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
You know. But this is real. We just want to jump in real, man. You know, Jasmine's character, she had to play, you know, that character coming from a deep part of her. So it was amazing because there was some things happening on the personal side, some people sick in her life. So she was able to channel. But also, you know, it was real, man. Cops out there, they got to live a tough life, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't have a vice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now, listen. What did Masika do?
Oh, man.
What did she do, man?
I love Masika. She's about to get married. I love Masika.
Okay.
I love her. She's a great person. Masika did something in a very, she was trying to help me.
Okay.
Masika was trying to help us. But she comes out of the reality world and she does things on her own, you know, and she does things sometime internally because sometimes you just got to jump on and make it happen.
Right.
And she was trying to create awareness. It just, the script wasn't right. She didn't think it all the way through. Okay. And it was before we knew. We were on the set shooting. She came on the set and she would make up her hair and the outfit she has on her, you know, lingerie, looking bruised. That was coming straight out the makeup department. She went into her dressing room. So at the end of it, if you listen very carefully, say, knock on the door and say, Masika, we're waiting for you. That was her coming to me, to do her first scene. So all of that happened before I even saw Masika.
Right.
So by the time it get to me, I'm shooting and they like, Howard, I need to talk to you about something. Masika's here, but I need to show you something. So I'm like, what? And I'm looking at it. I don't even know what it is. I'm like, I'm not computing. Right. It's posted. It's on IG. None of that. I'm literally oblivious. Oh, that's her audition. She's looking good. Okay. Because I never saw audition.
Gotcha.
You know, I thought it was the audition. And we saw each other because Masika and I met each other in Atlanta 15 years ago. Okay. You know, and hugging each other, talking. Howard, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna market this thing. I'm like, cool. The next morning, it blew out of control. And
then you realized what you saw.
TMZ called the network, and we were woken up by TMZ.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is not real TMZ. And I'm like, yeah, it's a reporter from TMZ. Masika done said this and faked like she was kidnapped. She faked like she was kidnapped, you know? And she asked OnlyFans to send us some money to help us support their awareness of her kidnapping. Terrible joke, but I think people sent her money.
Oh, so she also benefited.
It just is a lot of shade there.
Yeah.
And it just went in the millions overnight. We literally, because I was shooting for the rest of, we shot with Masika. She did an amazing job. Yeah. And I was happy. And the next morning, and it was a Friday, and we were like, we had to let her go. Network, everybody was like, we had to let her go. So we had to reschedule ourselves, and that weekend we were fever pitched trying to figure it out. Masika had millions of followers on IG. We had to find the equivalent. And the hashtags on the Shade Room said, fire Masika, hire Cayenne. And I was like, what is that? I ignored it. And then Cayenne was able to reach out because people reached out to her. Okay. She didn't know what was going on. She's like, what's going on? And then she was like, I want to audition. She found out. I was like, let's do it. And she did it over the phone. And it was amazing. We were like, wow. And we told her, get in the plane now. And I think it's on her social media. She literally she said, I'm going to go tomorrow. I said, you're going to get in the plane right now.
Like now.
And she's like, well, I need other people. I buy for whoever going. Your dad, your son. Okay. Come right now. We got you straight. And she didn't know us at all. Pines, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And she kicked butt, man. God blessed her, man. She was real focused. We respected her. We honored her. And she was on her job, man. And she really did an amazing job. So big up to Cayenne. I love her to death. Great spirited person. And she did an amazing job in a moment's notice. Yeah. And, I honor people like that, man. And just, again, when I said in the beginning of this interview, when I say we got to go, you got to get on the same speed we on. We cannot slow down, cannot back up. We need you. Can you handle it? Yeah. And God put us together. It was the fans who said to you. Little did I know that both of them are loving hip hop, L.A. versus New York. I didn't know about any of that, and I didn't care about it. And I said, I care about you doing an amazing job for us. We're family forever.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So when does season 2 drop?
Season 2? Well, no, we dropped. Yeah, we dropped. We already.
Oh, it's out now. Okay.
Check us out. We dropped. We're on episode 4.
Okay.
Check us out. Please check us out.
And it's on now. The new
now
all black.
UMC is now all black. They're a mixture between UMC and We streaming because they stopped the We streaming. And they all black now. So we have a bigger audience and subscription base, and we've been blessed. Our show was the #1 flagship show on the network.
That's what's up.
And Bob Johnson and RLJE, I should say, blessed us with an incredible.
See, I never knew that was him.
Yeah. Bob
never knew.
Bob is behind AMC's partner with AMC Network and Discovery. He's the chairman over there. Over top of that, and his ties are very, very deep.
That's what's
up.
up.
He's even Acorn Sutter in New York market.
Okay.
And I mean, we talked to him. He's our mentor, and he asks us to do something. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
He has the confidence that we're gonna try to do the best we can, and he's showing it by supporting us in kind. And we have billboards all across the country.
I've seen those. Yeah,
we're here in Atlanta,
New York.
We're in New York, Times Square, and by Apollo. We got digital bus there. We're inside of the station.
Okay.
The train station.
Yeah,
digital signs.
Nice.
Yeah, we got Lenox Mall inside.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, we got the whole Peachtree. We got all of Buckhead, Lenox area, and Piedmont. All the digital billboards over there, bus stops. We got Dallas. We got Chicago, we got Los Angeles and Sunset Strip, Hollywood, man.
That's all. Actually, looking up at.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we got 100 million impressions right there. Double Cross has reached over 125 million.
Nice.
Social media impressions across all streaming. Hit #1 3 times across all streaming. God was in it.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, man, congratulations on them Gibsons.
Thank you,
because you guys are really doing it, man. And I didn't know your story as far back as that.
Yes,
but an amazing story nonetheless. I mean, you hit the ground running, all because you just what you just said.
Absolutely.
You said yes when God
say yes.
Yeah,
say yes to God. Man.
Yeah, say yes to God.
Don't worry about the plan.
When He says move.
Yeah,
don't worry about the
like
plan
that,
of action. I couldn't imagine the direction to get to how I even relate to Bob Johnson this way. Like,
yeah,
I get a text from him, like,
yeah,
so I'm just grateful and thankful. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Any other projects outside of Double Cross?
Yes, I can openly say Christmas Deja Vu is going to start in April.
Nice.
BET Plus.
Okay.
Crystal is directing. She's a writer-director. My sister Candace.
She's also the showrunner too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and she's going to that's going to be a movie.
Okay. A
Christmas movie, and then Double Cross season 3 we don't know the dates when we're going to start that, but I think we're going to go about late spring, early summer. We're going to do season 3.
Okay.
And then we have 2 other projects that I can't legally talk about with other competing networks. But those are going to happen at the end of the year.
Okay.
So we're going to be busy, man. This is amazing. Like
all in LA?
No.
Okay.
So Christmas movie.
Because I need to show up as an extra in one of these things.
Yeah, yeah. So come see us the fall. I will say this. So the fall and to the end of the year,
right.
Those shows are here.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
And we set up
well, I'm there.
Yeah. We set it up, and so we're trying to migrate everybody to Atlanta.
Gotcha.
And because we got more family, it's hard to get my mom and everybody to California.
Yeah.
So but they can get here.
They can get here. Yeah. That's what's up. So where can people find you? Social media.
Yeah.
Your sister. Double Cross.
Yeah. So we're on IG. We communicate to everyone on IG. We're giving people, talent shots.
I see.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of, that's all new faces in Double Cross.
Everybody.
Yeah. With the
you show me you can do it. You show me you can do it. I'm rocking with you. Yeah. Period. In the story. In fact, Dr. Jeff, Dr. Centron,
right?
Nurse Brian, Nurse Rachel. I mean, I can go on. It's all from the DMV first and foremost.
That's what I heard. That part I didn't know.
I brought 40 people, man. I gave up.
You can't handle the truth.
That's right.
Stella, you know what I'm saying? Let me start auditioning right now.
That's right. I gave up my money, man.
I see.
For season 1, I said, nah. What we got to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so.
Well, we're already in Atlanta, so, we ain't got to drive.
You need some radio hosts. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. We write those things in.
Yeah, right.
I write that in. That's how we do it. We ain't got to worry about it.
Right.
You know, so, but it's like, I put them out, because I in those 2 years, God bless me. Yeah. I went with a plan, and that plan was to create my accelerator to give people the opportunity. I got connected to the Arts and Humanity in Maryland and Washington D.C. and the Black Caucus there, and they stood behind me and they said, "We love you, we want to represent you," and they partnered with me, and I was able to. My sister did some workshops at the Media Labs, the Media Art Labs, CDC, and we coordinated that effort and did some workshops and chose some people, man.
That is nice.
I said 40 people. I think we had. We're well over. We're over the number now, man, but. One of our guys who just sat, much like you saying he wanted to do it, he just directed an episode in season 2.
Wow.
Literally.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we taught him. So season 1, he came in, he shadowed us as directors. We taught him the whole game, me from the business end, and how to cultivate, and how to operate with networks, how to communicate, and how to meet your deadlines.
Yeah.
And then be creative. And shout out to Gil Nelson. And he was an intern last year, and he directed the episode. He was extremely helpful because he's a playwright. He was very successful as a local playwright. His business shut down. I said, I care about that.
Yeah.
You can't do your plays no more? You can come on. I'm going to show you how to get in the TV game. I'm going to show you what to do. Yeah. Come on. He got those workshops. No Ego, episode 3, Gil Nelson. So, yeah, we got household names now. Faith Malone, Nurse Brian. I mean, people getting calls. Our musical guys, everybody that we're working with, our set designers, everybody getting jobs from different networks right now, setting the tone, and we set a new trajectory really for Black filmmaking and what we could do, because we had nobody but Darren and Jasmine was our anchors, hitting 100 million.
Yeah, man.
Like, so it's story and it's execution. And people don't care. People get new opportunities. That's what I care about. So people need to know them Gibsons care about family.
Them Gibsons care.
We care. We care. We want to give people a shot.
Yeah.
And that's been my whole entire goal since I went to church. Everybody say, they give you love and offer. They give you offer. Come on down. You want to be a part of this church? All you got to do is go down and say you want to be a part of it. And your level of commitment is your level of commitment to that church.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can go all the way up if you want. Your level of commitment is how much you invest into it. And that's what people do. You come in, I give you the opportunity. We got workshops coming up on March 5th.
Okay.
Check us out. Check me out on Dem Gibson's Film on IG.
Okay.
Dem Gibson's Films on IG. DEM Gibson's. Yeah. And my sister is I Am Christelle Gibson. Yeah. Check us out. Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate it, brother, you coming through and already on it, huh?
On it.
Yes, sir.
And kicking it with us, man. You have shared a plethora of information and knowledge and just sincere, showing your sincerity and your sincere passion for what you do, man. And I felt it. That's what he said. I usually ask questions, but I'm just sitting here like, in awe, dude.
And I just want to share the good news with my brothers and sisters from our city.
Right.
I don't know if you know, but there's a rule that Apostle Verl how to tell you: if you're from DC, you in.
I've been rocking with Vero for quite a few years now, because we went to church together up in DC.
What about those that are DC adjacent?
Connected through the love, you know what I'm saying?
He got the key. He's got the key that he can open the door for everybody else.
That's what's up.
Share hands, and grab one another.
Yeah,
that's
one.
how we do it.
+1, right?
Yeah, I got love for the A2. So because I got a lot of time, my kids were raised here.
Okay.
So my kids say I'm from Atlanta.
Wow.
My daughter is a Georgia peach.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're DC and everything. So that's really where I have love from. In fact, my corporate company is AMG, Atlanta Maryland Group.
Okay. I get it. I got it.
Okay, that's my
Love
corporate. That's my corporate entity. It's my my parent company. So AMG. Yeah, so that's my goal. It's been my goal for many years. I started this like 6 years ago, and so it takes time.
Yeah, it
takes time. So I tell everybody, sometime, from my professional level to now, 29 years, but from me starting this, 40 years, and sometimes it takes 40 years to be an overnight
success. Yeah, well, you're doing it, man. Congratulations,
thank you, bro.
Man.
Appreciate it.
That's what's up. It's your boy G-Wade holding it down, G-Wade Podcast, and I'm kicking it alongside with my man Deacon.
Dirty.
Y'all know what it is.
The G-Wade Podcast. Bringing you the cool interviews, the hot topics, and all that other crap. The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.